So the stitches that are, excuse me, the stitches that are the front are the ones that I have the pushers in the rail for. And so what I'm going to do is look at these 5 stitches. I'm going to take the third and place it on the second, and the fourth, place it on the third, fifth, place it on the fourth. So I'm going to move all of those over one. And take a multi-tool and then move 3 over one. Oops. Let me get the third. And then I'm going to put it like this to pull these down, make sure they don't come off. Okay, I'm going to do a similar thing on this side. I have 6 here, so I'm going to move 4 over 1. I'm going to take the rightmost 4 and move them over 1. Come off. Okay, and then I put it between the needles to pull that down, and they stay on. Okay. Now what I'm going to have to do is take one of the stitches on the front bed and move it to the back bed. So I have fewer on this side, so I'm going to take one from the front. I'm going to unknit it. And I'm going to take this from the front and rotate it onto the back. Okay, and now you'll see we are a little off. We're off on the front to the right. So I'm going to rack the bed to the right, 1 full rotation. So now I'm going to continue on and do 4 rows, because I'm going to decrease every other full round. So that's going to be 4 rows, and then we're going to do another decrease. Nope. That one, the pusher made it still go up, so I'm just going to push that down. Or three, 4. Okay, and now I'm going to do another decrease. And again, I have this pusher that tells me where my first 2 stitches are. So I'm going to move pull that too much. I'm going to move the 3rd, 4th, and 5th over 1. So it's the first 2, and move 3rd, 4th, and 5th over. Okay, hold it between to pull it down. I have 5 stitches on this side, so move the right 3 over 1. This one's stuck. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to move 1 stitch from the front to the back, and this time I'm going to move it from the right side. It doesn't actually matter. I have the same number on each side. I'm gonna go rack back the other way. So I'm gonna rack to the left and simultaneously move this stitch over to the back bed. And knock that latch open. Okay, And then keep racking all the way up. Oh, this seems to have a fiber on it. It's stuck. An invisible fiber. One, okay. There we go. Okay, and then make sure the needles are down. And then 4 more rows. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do our next set of decreases. Again, I have these first 2, and then I have 2 here, so I'm going to move the left 2 over 1. And then I'm going to look at the other side, and I have 5 needles. So I'm going to move the right 3 over 1. Okay, and I move 1 from the front to the back, and I am going to rack to the right this time. And then unknit this one. And then move it to the back. And this is not moving it how you move from front bed to back bed when you're doing like something, you know, flat. This is in the round, so we have to rotate it around. You don't just take a double-eye bodkin and move it from front to back. Okay, so we did our decreases, we're all lined up, and now we do 4 more rows. Oh, something got stuck there. Let's try and knit that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now our next set of decreases. So I'm going to look over here first, and I have 4 needles. I'm going to move the left 2 over 1. Push that down out of the way. And then on this side, I have 4 as well. I'm going to move the right 2 over 1. Okay, and I am going to rack the bed to the left and move this one to the other side. Again, that's taking this off and rotating it around. Open that latch because that latch isn't opening. Okay, get it over. Push down. Okay, needles out of work that are empty. And 4 more rows. Okay, so next decrease. I'm going to look at what I have. I have 3 needles over here, so I'm going to move the leftmost one over just 1. Okay. And down. And over here, I have 4 needles. I am going to move the right 2 over one. And I move one over, it's going to be this one over here. I'm going to unknit this and then slip it off and rotate it around and pull that up. Push this down, yarn back around and rack to the right. And 4 more rows. Okay, and decrease again. I have 3 needles over here. I'm going to move one over to the right, left, one over to the left, push it down, and on this side I also have 3. I'm going to move one over to the right, okay, and this time I'm going to move the needle on the right side over. Okay, and then rack the bed to the left. Okay, and then 4 more rows. Okay, and our next decrease. I have 3 on the right, so I'm going to move one over to the left. And what do I have on the left? I have 2. So what I'm going to do is take one from the front bed and rotate it over. To do that, I am going to unknit this and then rotate it over. Put the needle down, and I'm going to rack the bed to the right. Okay, 4 more rows. Okay, so now, oops, pull that. Now we're going to do our next decrease. So I only have 2 needles here and 2 needles here. So I'm going to do both these decreases by taking one from the front bed and rotating it around. Ooh, got one fiber there. And I'm going to unknit this one when I do that. When you move from the front to the back like that, make sure to unknit if the yarn is just coming from it. Okay, so now we have a number we can't deal with on the front and back because we don't have extras to move over. So what we're going to do is move one of the decreases over to the front or the back. So I'm going to move it from the right side onto the back right now. Rotate it around. Now you could have moved it originally from the back to the front to make the decrease, but what's going to turn out is the wrong stitch is going to be on top, so it's going to look different. So that's why I kept it like this. Now let's rotate the back to the right, rack the back to the right, okay? And 4 more rows. Oop, that popped up, wasn't all the way down. Okay, now we have the same thing on the left, 2 needles on the back. So I'm going to take one from the front again. I'm going to unknit. And rotate around. Put it on, put it down. Okay, and now we have 1 on the back. So that means we're going to take the second needle in and move it over 1. And then move these over again. So then how many stitches do we have? Well, we have, we need 1 more on the front. So what I'm going to do actually is take this one from the back and move it over on the front. And then rack to the right again. And then do 4 rows. Oops, I pulled that up by accident. So again, on the right, the first 2 are our decrease in spacer. So I'm going to move the 3rd over to the right. And then I'm going to move those 2 both over 1 to take care of the gap. Oops, didn't get that one all the way on. One of the fibers came wrong way. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then on this side, we still have 2 stitches on the back, so I'm going to decrease this by undoing that, and moving over here for the decrease. And now I'm going to have to move this one on the back over to the front. And I'm going to now manually knit that. Get it about the same size, not a big deal, and then rack to the left. Okay, needles down. Okay, 4 more rows. Okay. Now what we have is to do another set of decreases. So I'm going to take, so this is the one we're moving stitches onto. I'm going to undo these 2. Because those should actually have been knit as a decrease, but that's okay. I'm going to move the 3rd onto the 2nd, and then move the 2nd over again. Okay. And I'm going to manually knit these. Just push it up, put it on, pull it down, make it about the same size as the other ones. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right. Do a decrease. I'm going to move the 3rd onto the 2nd. And then move those over 1. And move the rightmost one over 1 as well. And then that one's down. And so we're going to have to move 1 from the back to the front now again. So I'm going to take this one, because this is our last gusset stitch that's on the back, and rotate it around underneath that stitch, and then actually knit it with it. Okay, and then rack it to the left. And now you have your sock, and you continue on as if you're doing the normal heel turn. So you have, this is your front, this is your back, so your top and your bottom, and you just continue on as many rows as you need, and then do your decreases for the toe.